Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a video for you about all of the new multiplayer movement mechanics in Black Ops 3 because there is a ton of it. We have auto mantling, thrust jumps, power slides, wall running, water combat, and a couple of other things. I'm going to be speaking from experience because I was lucky enough to visit Treyarch Studios, sit down, and play Black Ops 3 multiplayer for about 3 to 4 hours-ish, played several maps, a lot of different classes, tried a lot of stuff out, got to hear the developer's insight, got a lot to talk about this really bananas movement mechanics. First things first, exos are 100% not coming back. Instead, we have bio-augmented soldiers, and they have thruster packs. And the guys at Treyarch were very clear that exos are not the same thing as thruster packs and vice versa. The easiest way to explain it would be that an exo is kind of like a jetpack on your back. You go from 0 to 100 really fast, you boost and slide and slam and zip across the map really fast. The thrust are more of kind of like a slow hover or like a light boost or a little push in the direction. People aren't bouncing all over the map or zipping around like they were in Advanced Warfare. It's actually kind of slow and oftentimes gets you killed. Not nearly as many aerial combats in Black Ops 3. And guys, if you want to know more, don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to be making like 20 or 30 videos on this because Black Ops 3 has completely upended everything I know about Call of Duty multiplayer. The first new movement mechanic I want to talk about is unlimited sprint. You have absolutely unlimited sprint at any time. You don't need a perk for it. You don't need an ability for it, a character, anything. Just every single character and every single game mode that we played, you have unlimited sprint, and you can sprint anywhere you want to go. Now the boosting and stuff is not unlimited, I'll get to that later on, but there's a new mantle mechanic. Mantling was always kind of an awkward thing in Call of Duty, because you would basically run up to an object, come to a complete stop, and then kind of climb over it and slide over it. Ghost did a little bit better with some kind of auto vaulting if you could time it really well, but this time they decided to completely remove mantling from the game, completely remove ladders and all of that, and give auto mantling. Auto mantling prevents you from having to use the A button or X button to hop or climb over anything. You just run at a chest-high wall, and your character will automatically plant and climb over it. A lot, especially the smaller walls. Some of the big ones you're going to have to jump up and grab on, but again, you don't have to use a mantle button. It'll just happen, and this happens automatically. There's no loss of momentum. You don't run up to it, bonk it, stop, and then climb over slowly. You run, jump, plant a hand on it, and keep going, and you keep your gun up and ready to shoot 100% of the time. So if I want to vault over something, if I want to climb over something, if I want to hop over a car or whatever, I'll just Dukes of Hazzard over that thing, guns up, ready to go. And it's also omnidirectional. It's not just if I'm running forwards, if I'm running sideways, if I'm running backwards, my character will automatically hop and climb over things, and I don't have to worry about it very much. It just kind of makes the game a lot smoother, a lot faster. Next up is the ever so controversial thrust jump, which again they wanted to make very clear is not the same thing as an exo boost. As I explained earlier, it is short, slow hops in any direction at any time. You basically double tap A or whatever your jump button is to activate it. The first jump is just a regular jump. The second one will activate the thruster, but it's not like an exo. It's not like a jetpack under your butt that's going to shoot you 20 feet in the air. It's going to slowly push you up 4 or 5 feet, and you can kind of push yourself in any direction that you want, not just left, right, forward. You can push yourself forward, sideways, back, and you can actually do this multiple times. You can change the direction of your thrust and do, I would say, probably between 3 and 5 thrusts. The amount and duration of the thrust is entirely dictated by how long you hold down the button. You can do one really huge thrust all the way to the left, slowly hovering over there, or you can kind of hop around and wiggle a little bit, do it about 3 to 5 times, and there is a visible power meter so that you always know how much you have left. So if I'm running, I can jump about 2 feet off the ground, and then I can push myself up a little bit more. If I don't like that, I can push myself to the right, and if there's some danger on the right, maybe move backwards a little bit, and then I'll probably be starting to run out of fuel, but I'll be able to see it the whole time. And I want to make it clear it's not like super fast or super high and not super rewarding. I did not have a good time fighting midair. I preferred to fight on the ground. It resets when you hit the ground. Like you hit the ground and maybe about a half second later you're going to get a bar recharge. This is different than Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare just had a pure timer on your exo. Whenever that timer expired, your boosts were ready to go. This one, your thrusts come back after you've been on the ground and you haven't been doing anything for a little bit, but it's pretty quickly. The next movement mechanic I want to talk about is called power sliding. This is probably the most similar to the AW Exo slide. It's essentially just a thrust slide. It's the same kind of thing we had in Ghost. You slide on your knees forward. The difference here is that you can determine how long you slide. The longer I hold down the slide button, the further it slides, and also I can change direction. So this is kind of cool. So like if I want to slide, let's say all the way under a bridge, which I did a couple of times, I didn't want to stop halfway through and then crawl. I just held it down and I used my entire thrust pack to push me all the way through completely to the other side of the bridge. And if I was lucky and I had a little bit of juice left over, I could actually just look in the direction that I wanted to slide to, and my character would automatically slide that way. Imagine kind of like your Ghost or AW knee slides, but if you wanted to, you could use whatever stick you have to look with, or mouse or whatever, to look left or right, and you could change the direction. You can also thrust out of this, and you can mantle out of this. All of this is seamless. All of this chains together. You can go through it pretty quickly. If I'm not mistaken, I think power sliding might be the only move that you can't shoot while doing. You can shoot while doing everything else. I think power sliding, you need gung-ho to shoot while you're sliding. That was a perk that was there. I don't know if it's going to stay there or if you're just going to be able to shoot by default in the final build, but that's how it was, and it worked pretty well. Got some pretty serious distance on it. Saving the craziest two for last, let's talk about wall running. Wall running is definitely a thing in Black Ops 3. It uses the same thrust system that everything else does, the same power, energy, whatever, so if you chain it, you can run out and actually fall off the wall. But it's there. The leaks were real. It's crazy. I didn't believe it. And how does it play is probably the question. I'm going to say it plays similar to Titanfall, but it's a lot more strict on the angle that you hit the wall. Titanfall, you were kind of like a rabbit. You could just kind of hop around, and as long as you more or less touched the wall in the right direction, you were going to be able to wall run on it. My experience has been with Black Ops 3 that you need to be pretty particular about the angle. Like, you very deliberately have to wall run. You won't be able to do it on accident at all, and it uses part of your thrust system. Also, you can't hover. You can't hover on the wall. You are able to wall run for much shorter distances than Titanfall, and you must maintain momentum. So like Titanfall, you could run pretty much indefinitely. You would gravity would pull you down a little bit, but jumping to a new wall would like increase your momentum. And again, you could hop them together and get going super fast. That doesn't happen in Black Ops 3. You actually lose momentum the longer you're on the wall because you're using your thrust to kind of stick to it. But you can jump off the wall at any time and onto another wall, so you can chain them, losing momentum the whole time. Unlike Titanfall, though, you can change direction mid-wall. If you have enough thruster pack left over, you can jump off the wall, turn around the other direction, and thrust it back into the wall and go the other way, which is actually pretty cool. It's very useful. I didn't get to make use of it too many times. Allier pulled it on me once and killed me, but it's pretty fun. It definitely works, and I don't want you to think it's like Titanfall where there are walls like everywhere. Like every map is just full of walls and you're running around. It's not really like that. The wall running is more kind of like additional pathing or riskier pathing. In all of the maps we played, I would say there were 2, maybe 3 sections in any given map where you could wall run. So again, and not all of the surface are wall runnable too. The ones that are pretty plain and obvious. They're big flat walls. You can't run on anything small. You can't hang on the roofs or doing anything crazy like that. Some of the crazy stuff you can do though is you have full shooting, aim down sights, reloads, and equipment on the wall. I can shoot somebody, jump on the wall, reload on the wall, while I'm running, aim down sights, shoot another person, throw a C4, detonate it, and hop it off the wall. It's crazy. It works like that. However, you will fall off if you aim down sights too long. If you ADS too long on the wall and hold it down, you move slower. And as you move slower, you lose momentum, and when your momentum gets below like a critical level, you just fall off and die. So that's kind of a thing. Also, if you get stunned, blown up, meleeed, anything like that, you fall off the wall. I tried to stun somebody off the wall. I tried to throw a stun grenade at him. It didn't work. I saw it in the trailer and the presentation, but I wasn't personally able to do it. My advice out of all of these moves is you should probably fight on the ground though. All of these moves can be chained together. You can do this seamlessly. You maintain the same momentum, you use the same power source, you can flow it all the way through and do some really nice parkour kind of stuff, but it's actually kind of hard to do, and I find it very difficult to aim while you're doing all of this complicated stuff. And again, this isn't Titanfall or AW where you're doing it super fast and like the more mobile you are the better. It's still kind of Call of Duty, kind of on the slower side of things actually, and I found myself more often than not disadvantaged up in the air. Like people could shoot me pretty easily. I found it hard to aim. And the majority of the gunfights that I won were just ground-based gunfights. I didn't win too many crazy wall-running C4 trick-shotting. That really didn't work very well. But staying on the ground behind cover and picking off people that are running on the wall worked really well. Again, think of them more as like extra pathing and not like advanced elite montage moves or whatever. Lastly, I'm going to talk briefly about water. Water is going to get its own video in a day or two, but water swimming is seamless. You jump into the water, you swim at the same movement speed, you have the same full use of guns, equipment. You can shoot into the water, out of the water, during the water. You can do a lot of different things with the water. It actually flows really well. It's not, we'll say, quirky or gimmicky like you think it would. There's no fish AI, which I'm honestly pretty disappointed in. We need some fish AI. But it's also not super common. Of the 3 levels we played, only one of them had water, and as the developers told us, not all of the levels are going to have water. Matter of fact, I think a minority of them, like less than half, I'm going to say about a third or a quarter of them have water, and all of the water is kind of underneath the level, and it again serves as an extra path. If you want to hop in the water and kind of flank people, you can do that, but it's a risk-reward thing, and it's not like you're going to have a full water combat map. Oh, but you do have a certain amount of time. You can't camp in the water, you'll suffocate. That's kind of a big thing. So we have completely upended movement mechanics in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, because I'm going to be making a ton of videos talking about my experience playing Black Ops 3, try to get the best info out there possible. Drifter out.